Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on episode Side Flick. My name is Chris. Let's dive into some of the movie news that's been going on the past couple of days. Some of the stuff we're going to be diving into here today is Disney Plus making some big changes on their platform to allow mature content. We got some details here talking about the spin-off show involving Colin Farrell's The Penguin from the Batman. Indiana Jones 5 finally wraps up. Live action Twisted Metal updates. That along with so much more, so you guys already know the drill. Leave me your thoughts down below. Timestamps in the description if you want to skip around. But I do just really want to go ahead and say thank you for putting up with my channel the past couple of days. I know it's been nothing but straight up Batman review after Batman review. Heck, I still got Batman vs Superman due, so I just want to say if you're someone who's been putting up with those constant videos popping up in your feed, you're an MVP. I hope you enjoyed this little news talk here because I definitely wanted to talk about something. There was just not a lot going on. Still, I scrounged up to get as much stuff as we could talk about right here, so let's just dive into a little segment we call here Trailer Trash. As you guys know, one man's trash, another man's treasure, and we do have two trailers here that have come out the past couple of days that I think are interesting enough to talk about. For one, we got the final trailer for Morbius here. Man, this movie has just been delayed, and we're finally going to be getting it April 1st. Hopefully that's not an April Fool's joke. And with this final trailer, I was honestly expecting Sony to go kind of all big and all out, really give me a reason to be super excited for this film. And it seems like they know that because they're really showing off Adrian Toomes, Michael Keaton's character as the Vulture, who in the past couple of months in interviews has kept saying that he needs to film stuff for Vulture. Even the day before this trailer was released, he posted a picture on his Instagram saying he was going to do more Vulture stuff. I really hope the boy suits up in costume, but I feel like he's just going to be in this prisoner outfit the entire time. But I'll be honest with you, I'm still going to give this trailer a treasure because I really like the look of this movie. Like, this film actually looks really nice. There's a couple of shots in here that actually had my eyes open, like, oh, that actually looks really cool. And this film already has my curiosity piqued either way with trying to find out how does this Vulture connect to the MCU? Are they in the Spider-Man universe? Are they outside it? My biggest fear is the movie's not even going to address it, and we're just still going to be left with so many questions by the end. From there, the other big trailer that people are anticipating here was Fantastic Beasts 3, titled The Secrets of Dumbledore. Now, if you guys don't know my opinion on this, I really do like the Harry Potter movies, but I could just never get into the Fantastic Beasts series the same way I do into the Harry Potter films. No pun intended, but they do just seem to lack that sort of magic and wonder that the old Harry Potter films had. And then with all the behind-the-scenes drama going on with this movie, I feel like Warner Brothers kind of wants to be done with this series and put Harry Potter to rest for a couple more years before they try bringing back the OGs. And with all that said, this trailer actually kind of kicked butt. It showed that this film is going to be action-packed. I don't know if they were just throwing out every single action set piece in this trailer, which wouldn't surprise me, but it feels like it's going to be one epic of a movie and almost like the end of this series, because I know they had planned to make like 5 of these, but with each one of them making less and less money and people liking them less and less, I think they're going to end it off here, so they want to have the grand conclusion. So I'll give this trailer a treasure because it did pique my interest for a movie I have no interest for. Let me know what you guys would give those trailers. But moving on to some of the news stories we have here, we got to talk about Beetlejuice. Deadline here is reporting Beetlejuice 2, Brad Pitt's Plan B board sequel in early development at Warner Brothers. Now, Beetlejuice might be a movie that not a lot of my younger viewers know, but it is one that has held the test of time with people rewatching it and still loving it to this day. And I gotta be honest, when I first heard this news, I was like, really? Now, after all these years, you're gonna make Beetlejuice 2? I understand Michael Keaton has the resurgence right now coming back as Batman, showing up in the Spider-Man universe, and now it looks like he's gonna be digging up the character of Beetlejuice. I'm curious alone to see this movie for the updated visual effects, because that original Beetlejuice just has so many wonderful practical effects, and I know a lot of older people will be excited for this to be happening, but I don't know if it'll perform as well with younger audiences or today's generation. We talk about all the time how some movies go to streaming and some go to theaters. I would think this would be one that goes to HBO Max on Warner Brothers, where I think it'll definitely perform better on there instead of theaters. But that's just my opinion. I know there's diehard Beetle fans out there that are super excited for this. Let me know how you guys feel about Michael Keaton returning in the role of Beetlejuice after over 30 years. And I guess we're just rolling on with that subject of older actors returning to their livelihood here, because we have the update that Indiana Jones 5 has officially wrapped. Now, Indiana Jones is actually a franchise I love so much. Heck, I think I got my Indiana Jones card down here. Da, 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 da. I always loved the Indiana Jones series, and I was so disappointed with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull along with a lot of people. But when I heard they were going to want to try and do one more of these movies with Harrison Ford minus Steven Spielberg, I was skeptical, but James Mangold at the helm, who brought us movies like Logan and Ford v Ferrari, two extremely well-made movies, I kind of have a lot of faith this will turn out good. But even the behind the scenes of this film was facing so much issues. Harrison Ford was getting injured on set, they had to delay production, then COVID hit. It It was like this film was just never meant to happen. In fact, I think the original release date for Indiana Jones 5 was like 3 years ago. So to me, it's kind of a miracle that they finally finished this film. It's wrapped. They're going to start doing all the graphics and editing, and then it'll be ready to be released next year. And this is a nice contrast to what I was talking about with Beetlejuice. You know, I said that's a movie that had one film in the 80s, long time ago. Indiana Jones was one that had several films in the course of other decades. I'm going to be really curious to see how Indiana Jones 5 performs in this era, especially with comic book movies being all in the rise and action films like this not really existing. I want to throw it off to you guys. Do you think Indiana Jones 5 has the potential to do good? Not talking quality, I'm talking performance-wise with audiences today, as well as letting me know if you're excited that Indiana Jones 5 is finally finished. Moving on here to some other things that were going on in the movie space, we have here the update with the live-action Twisted Metal series. Now, Twisted Metal was one of those early PlayStation games I loved playing. Heck, I even had the PSP version, and I played the hell out of that everywhere I went. And we had heard there was possibly a live-action series in the works that was going to star Anthony Mackie, and now it's finally been officially confirmed to where you'll be able to watch this on Peacock. A quick summary of the show goes as Anthony Mackie stars as John Doe, the smart-ass milkman who talks as fast as he drives. With no memory of his past, John gets a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make his wish of finding community come true, but only if he can survive an onslaught of savage vehicle combat. The most interesting part about this to me is that it's being described as a half-hour comedy show. That kind of scares me a little bit, but maybe they can play that in the right direction. And although this is information that we've kind of heard already before and it's not all that new, it's still kind of big because that means PlayStation right now is having a real grand time. The newly found PlayStation studio just had Uncharted come out with Tom Holland, and that is making bank at the box office. So it's probably one of the reasons this Twisted Metal show is actually happening, because they have success so far. And with it being on Peacock, this could be the future of where all future Sony shows go. I can't wait to see what kind of budget they come out with, if they'll be able to spend real money on these things, because those cars are pretty expensive, especially if you're going to be blowing them up and fighting each other. Let me know how you guys feel about the live-action Twisted Metal series with Anthony Mackie, and if you want Peacock to be the home of PlayStation entertainment. Something really quick in the horror space I wanted to touch upon here. We all know Scream 6 is officially happening. I can't believe that we had Scream 5. It turned out to be a great movie. I really enjoyed it. And now they are like fast tracking this 6th movie that is set to film this summer. Well, now we got a little behind the scene update that did hint to us what we could be seeing in this new installment, and that is that Scream 6 will be filming in Montreal, Canada. This will be the first Scream movie out of the 6 films to film outside of the US in a new location. Now, I do just want to admit that could mean absolutely nothing. Montreal has been a place where they have filmed stuff, but within the actual movie, it could be set in the United States. So even though they're going to Montreal, it doesn't mean that the movie itself won't take place entirely in the US. But I think this will be exciting to Scream fans, because it's like, we need a change of pace here. Whether that be how you give us the big twist of the movie by the end of it and change up Ghostface, whether you make 3, 4 of them, decide to bring back Stu, which I would love. One thing that would be an easy change and already make things feel refreshing is the location. We've already been set in a suburb, in a college campus, heck, even in Hollywood studios. Going to Montreal opens the door for some exciting locations. They have used Montreal to make it look like Europe or even New York City, and a Scream film kind of set in that atmosphere would be new. Now, some of my geographers out there will have to let me know if in the summer when they plan to film this, that is like June and July, does it snow in Montreal? Because if it does, yo, I would love me a snowy Scream movie. So again, this could mean absolutely nothing, but I think it's a big deal that it's the first Scream movie filming outside of the US. Maybe they're doing it for a reason. From there, we got a little update with the Batman Penguin spin-off series that'll be coming to HBO Max. Now, since I've already seen the Batman, I can already tell you, you're gonna love Colin Farrell's the Penguin. I'm not gonna ruin or spoil anything for you in the movie, but for people worried that he wasn't gonna get his time to shine, oh, Colin Farrell shows you that he is an amazing penguin. The boy actually is funny and comes off like a real crime boss. And funny enough, it looks like those are some of the details that have been coming out about his show. The producer of the series says here, we're doing one with Colin, seeing Oswald Cobblepot, rise to power. Almost like a Scarface story. It's exciting to do something that's just as a standalone, but it speaks to the character and our movie, so that you'll go back to the movie and say, oh, I see that backstory there, that line refers to. And so with hearing that, you would think, oh, okay, so a penguin's rise to power, we're gonna get his backstory, maybe his childhood, childhood, how he grew up. Nope, they're gonna move forward in the story. They continue on and say here, we have to get into what made him the man he is. Also, it will pick up where this film finished off. I think it'll pick up a little short time after the last frame of this film. We'll get to go on a little kind of left turn of the world of Oz and how he's beginning to kind of dream of fulfilling a potential power vacuum that may exist. It's a lovely, lovely character and explores vulnerabilities. His violence is apparent. His propensity for violence and his ability to use it as a tool is apparent. But also to see we all have soft spots, every single person, and to be able to find that location, dig around it would be fun. I've mentioned we're in a new era here of movies now where they come out with a film and there's most likely going to be a spin-off series on a streaming service that actually connects to the world, like Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad, or the Disney Plus series and the Marvel movies. But this kind of makes sense because they've already announced they're going to make The Batman 2, and I fully want to see that movie. Also, they said that they're trying to go rated R with the show, so that gives me a lot of excitement, especially when you hear Colin Farrell was trying to fight to have Penguin have his classic cigar in his mouth for this movie, and Warner Brothers said they can't do that because it risks an R rating. No problems like that on streaming service. Let me know what you guys think about a Penguin spinoff. The last big thing I wanted to talk about here is these big repercussions that'll be happening to Disney Plus. You guys might have heard the rumblings here that Netflix is about to lose those Marvel shows and they'll be leaving their platform and going to Disney Plus. This has made a lot of big changes and people wondering, wait, are they gonna keep those shows in their entirety? Because they can get pretty graphic and it doesn't seem Disney Plus friendly. On the overseas side of things, they already have a solution for that. They have a separate side of Disney Plus called Stars where they can put mature content. But it looks like Marvel has now found a solution because they'll be coming out with a feature that involves parental controls so we can finally see mature content on Disney Plus. This is really huge for Disney Plus because this opens up a new era for adult content so they can finally compete with HBO Max and Netflix. Like, those are true streaming services that can already put out family-friendly content. Mitchell's vs. the Machines, that was an amazing animated movie. HBO Max is going to come out with a CG animated Scooby-Doo movie later this year. But on the same side, they can never come out with an R-rated Penguin show or a Squid Games. Doing this parental control feature now lets them open the door for a lot more interesting things in the MCU and other Disney Plus stuff. The other exciting part about this though is when these shows finally get put on Disney Plus, if you go to the Marvel section, Disney likes to divide things up and lets you know where everything stands. It's been a long debate whether these shows are actually canon in the MCU or not. So when they hit Disney Plus, Marvel will be forced to categorize it as MCU or Marvel Legacy, the section of Disney Plus of stuff outside of the MCU. That'll finally put to rest whether we know if these shows are canon or not. So that's exciting stuff here, and that means eventually we'll see the Deadpool movies on there and whatnot. But I throw it off to you guys. How do you feel about Disney Plus opening this door for more mature content? But that is all the movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch these videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.